All right, I am super excited today to be taking some time to interview one of my great clients. I have grown to not only have the joy of getting to know Justin from a client perspective, but also as a great person who's contributing a lot to the lives of others. So, not only in real estate, and we'll talk about Justin that, and you know what I'm talking about with that. But I just want to say thanks for spending some time with me. So, a lot of people know you, but some people that have never been introduced to our world do not know you. So do me a favor and introduce yourself, where you live, and how long you've been in the business.
Yep, my name is Justin Ford, and I live in the Metro Detroit area in a town called Plymouth, Michigan. And I've been in the industry for the last 20 years, selling real estate for the last 13 years.
Okay, good. 13 years. So that's actually relatively new in my world,
Yep.
Justin. So
hmm
tell us a little bit about your history. Why did you get into the business? Where'd you start, etc.?
Yeah, so I got into the business back in 2005. I was introduced to the industry through the mortgage side of the business when anybody could get into doing mortgages. And after doing that for a few years, and when the market crashed back in 2008, it was my first introduction to commission sales, and I was never a good employee, so I did not want to go back to working a regular job. Nothing wrong with jobs, but I decided to continue on in the industry and helping people with short sales and loan modifications. And then in 2013, I ended up getting my real estate license and joining Jeff Glover's team.
Ah, that's right. So you started with Jeff, which is kind of really cool. And how
Yep.
long were you there?
I was on Jeff's team from 2013 to 2016, so just about 3 years.
Okay, awesome. And what an incredible foundation you have found because your success is so remarkable right now. And again, is there anything you want to share with the early days from your early days?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've always been in some type of sales. And when I was introduced to the world of real estate, I look at real estate as just a vehicle, right, within the sales industry. Every form of sales, insurance, homes, cars, it's all very similar. It's just what type of vehicle are you actually in, or what type of industry are you in that you're selling. And so I looked at real estate as just another vehicle or pathway through sales. And when I decided to get my real estate license, I really wanted to be the best. And so I said, in order to be the best, I need to learn from the best. And I had met Jeff a few times, talked to him a little bit, but I realized that, he was doing something right. He was on the billboards, and, he was a top team in the state of Michigan. And so when I joined Jeff's team, it was very new to me because I didn't know what real estate really looked like on the inside. I only knew what it looked like, or what I thought it looked like, from the outside. And so I remember meeting with Jeff my very first time sitting down with him, and he told me, hey, we do things a little bit different here. Every agent we hire has to go through a 90-day program of, learning how to make prospecting calls and making
Mhm.
phone calls. And uh, immediately I thought he was, hiring me to be a telemarketer. I thought those days were over for me because I did that, previously, and I didn't want to do that again. And so he shared with me that everybody that came through his team all started the same way, and that was learning and mastering the skills of phone sales and communication. And I remember Jeff telling me, just to trust him and take a chance on letting him show me the way. And I did that. And in my first year, I sold 100 homes, primarily from picking up the phone and calling for sale by owners and expireds. And so was there 3 years. I was his top agent for home sales. The 3 years I was there, I was on his agent leadership council, and I also became his inside sales manager, where I then began to coach and train all of the agents that came through that same door I did on that 90-day program.
Yeah, so pretty foundational, I would say.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it kind of built the foundation. And one of the things that I observe, and we can get more a little deeper into our conversation, is, you know, is not only obviously sales and picking up the phone, but you're really skilled at asking questions. You're really skilled at connecting to the people that you talk to, and that draws out them to want to work with you. So before you got into coaching, right? So we're talking a little bit about coaching, your foundation of it.
Yeah.
Um, Before you got into it, what were some of the biggest challenges that you have faced since you've been growing
Yeah.
and as a great agent?
Yeah. Well, there was this gap in between when I left Jeff's team to go start my own brokerage and kind of do my own thing. And what I realized I was missing was accountability. Accountability for me is
Mm-hmm.
huge because I know the skills that, or I know the things that I need to do. I know the activities that I need to do on a daily basis. And by having a coach and having somebody, to hold me accountable has really helped me stay on track. I mean, just yesterday or the other day on our coaching call, yesterday we talked about, working through some things that I've been experiencing, and yet, in the past I've told you, hey, if this ever comes up, hold me accountable
Mm-hmm.
and remind me of this, which you did. And it allowed me to really get reset and refocused on the daily activities that I need to do. And so I would say for me, the accountability is the biggest thing. But then also, not only do I sell and produce, I'm also leading a team. And so to have a coach like yourself who, has led a massive organization of real estate agents, to be able to have a coach like yourself that I can constantly talk to, ask questions, and find direction in building my own team, it's really taking my personal business, but also my team to the next level.
Yeah, so that's it. It is interesting because so tell us a little bit about your trajectory, right? So you went, which is very bold to leave where you were at
Yep.
and then open your own team,
Yep.
which is unbelievable. And
Yep.
so there's bumps in the road,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about the trajectory or the changes in your business during that time, and then why you decided to actually get into coaching
Yeah.
initially. Yeah.
I think for me is, again, going back to the accountability piece, it's easy to get lost in all the daily activities that business has. And if you're not sticking to the things that are going to continue to add numbers to your bottom line, income into your business, sales to your pipeline, then eventually you're going to struggle. And for me, what I realized after I left Jeff's is I wasn't really putting in the efforts and doing the things that I knew I needed to do consistently. So therefore, I was struggling financially. I was not making the amount of money that I knew I could make.
Right. You've
And
proven that
and then
before.
yeah, but then also, uh, what I find with coaching is, rather than trying to figure out the path to get to your goal, find somebody who's already accomplished it and have them help you get there quicker and
Yeah.
easier, to miss out, or to not have to go through certain challenges or make certain mistakes that maybe they did. And therefore hiring a coach for me has really helped me to kind of get where I want to go faster.
Right. Which makes sense. So was your business, so you did a lot of transactions at Jeff. Did you hit a bump in the road? Like, did you go down and then
Yeah.
choose to
Yeah.
get a
So
coach and then go up? Yeah.
yes. So I went from, selling around 100 homes every year down to like 50. And 50 is pretty good if you've never done it before, but if you're going backwards to 50,
Yeah.
it's not good. And what I really did is, I was on a team split with Jeff, and I had a certain income. And so when I got to, let's say, 100%, it's never really 100%, but let's say 100% because it was my own brokerage, I just scaled down to keep that same income, when really if I would have, stayed at that same level I was previously, I would have made, more than double the income. And so I kind of had an aha moment after coming to, one of the Glover U summits. And I just said, what would my business and my life look like if I performed at that same level that I once did and had the opportunity to make more commission? And I realized that hiring a coach was going to help me get there.
Yeah, so the accountability, that's one thing I know with you. You it drives you,
Yep.
right? And you're like, Kath, you got to hold me accountable to this. And of course, you and I have that arrangement of
Hmm.
what that looks like too. Besides that, share with the group what we're doing to help you, stay focused. Your schedule is often really good, but what are
Yep.
some of the areas that the accountability obviously really thrives with you. But what else have we been working on, whether it's mindset, whether it's consistency, your schedule, your systems, that has helped you get to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. My mindset, I think, is everything. When your mindset's in the right place, you're going to move in the right direction. And if your mindset's not in the right place, it's important to have somebody to help you, that help get you out of there. That's obviously one of the things that you've been able to help me do. Another thing too is our database. You've been able to help, Coach Joy and I, my wife Joy, to really be able to be consistent with our database. And this year we'll have more database business, sphere of influence business, referrals, past clients than we've ever had before. And again, I've always known what to do, but
Yes.
by hiring you to be our coach, it's helping us weekly to know, not just know what to do, but staying honest and helping us to actually do those things and encouraging us to do those things. And that's really helped us in a big way. Also with my team, to be able to recruit new agents to the team. And one of the things that you said is, listen, the way that you're successful as a team is if you're consistently recruiting, because people are going to come, people are going to go, people are going to succeed at a high level, and some people aren't going to do anything. And the only way that you overcome that is by just consistently recruiting new people to the team.
Right. And sometimes it's hard, right? With attrition, right?
Right.
So we know people always come. And again, that's you and I talk about accepting the fact that people come and go, but what you're doing is stepping up your value proposition, but
Yeah.
it's also working on the mindset aspect of being consistent and keep going.
Yep.
And one of the things I love about you is your honesty, your openness about sharing with me when you have struggles.
Hmm.
And the reason I share that, I hope you're cool with me bringing it up, is because
Yeah.
everyone has struggles. The market has shifted
Right.
and people have been and have struggled. So, you know, you have to share with the group because this is super exciting to me. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a couple things. Is this year you set a high goal for yourself,
Yep.
and you set a high goal for the number of listings you want to take per month.
Yep.
And, that's for everyone that doesn't know Justin. Justin's a high achiever, but he's also very thoughtful in his time and his efforts. And he spends times, reflecting, which is super smart.
Yep.
So tell the audience about your best month this year and what you did and how you did it. And then let's go from there.
Yeah. So the last 2 years, I've been really focusing on building my team. Therefore, I've pulled back on my personal production a
Mhm.
bit to lay that foundation. Well, coming into this year, you and I have been meeting, and we've been talking about me getting back on track. Prospecting, lead generating consistently. Not that I ever stopped, but doing
No,
it
right.
consistently and again at a high level. And I remember, I think it was probably in January, February, you and I were just talking, and you reminded me that the gifts and talents that I have can't be wasted, and they need to be used, because it's not just about me, setting appointments, taking listings, and selling homes, but it's really about helping people at a high level. And I remember sitting there on that call and you walking me through it, and then me just coming to a realization and a decision that, you know what, all right, I'm going to flip the switch and it's game time. And so when I did that, it was going into March. And between March and April, I took 40 listings and sold 23 homes in 2 months.
So I remember you driving in your car saying, Kathy, wait, what number was it? How many did you just say? I should,
40
yeah,
listings in 2 months.
right, right. So one of the things for the audience to understand is just like everything else, the one thing with Justin is that he does have a gift. Now, the gift didn't just, he does have a natural gift. Anyone who's on this or anyone knows you knows that
Yep.
of connecting with people, but he's also worked diligently at the skill.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's not like you just woke up and said, "Oh, I'm going to be great at like asking questions." And you've
Right.
studied the language, you've worked on the scripts, and I call scripts nothing more than mastering your verbal communication with people.
Yep.
So you've taken the time. But one of the things that Justin, I know, and I'm blessed to coach him, is his gift for connecting people and helping people.
Yeah.
And I know that's what his heart is. And so he's proven that in the last few months, and it's super fun to watch, even though it got, it was a lot and a little bit overwhelming.
Yep.
So how did you get through that? We don't have to belabor it, but just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's again another coaching moment where you've been able to help me because you go from, and I've always taken probably anywhere from 3 to 7 listings per month consistently, even when I wasn't trying. And so to go from that to 20 plus listings per month, I mean, my transaction coordinators were overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed because
Yep.
they've never seen that type of business. And so what was awesome was, a handful of weeks ago, we had talked about having Joy, who used to be my transaction
Hmm.
coordinator, really kind of step in and really kind of fill the role and oversee the client interaction standpoint, where the transaction coordinators really focus on the back end. And it really allowed my confidence to be restored because when 40 listings were coming in and I'm getting all the calls and the text messages, I
Yeah.
felt overwhelmed. And so I'm like, wait, I need to pull back a little bit. And by pulling back, I was able to reassess kind of where things were.
Hmm.
And I remember Kate saying something to me one time, Kathy, when I was feeling really overwhelmed, when my business kind of went to the next level. And she said, Justin, this is your new norm. You just have to learn how to
Ah.
navigate your new norm.
Hmm.
And so by Joy kind of jumping back in and really being able to kind of be the client communication aspect of with our clients and our deals, it just kind of allowed me to then get back, right into, going out and getting more transactions versus pulling back because, I didn't want to have the balls being dropped on those clients and the communication and the service. And so, again, by having you as my coach, we've been able to talk through those things versus if it was just me by myself and I didn't have anybody to talk to or help me work through that, I don't know how I would have handled that. So thank you.
No, not, I mean, that's what my job is. And I always say I have the easy part, you have the hard part.
Yeah,
So, you're out there implementing, but it's a joy, ironically, to watch you and Joy work together. And for her to step up and do that is awesome. And it gave you peace of mind and freedom is what
definitely.
it did. So
Yeah.
what is one thing that you would, that someone watching this, that you could advise them that they could implement today? So the market, has shifted. We know that. What is something that they can just go do?
Yeah, I think wow, there's quite a few. I mean, I feel one of the things that you can always do in a shifting market is look at what's working in your business and look at what's not working and really try to look at, can you fix what's not working to make it work, or should you double down on what's working? And one of the things for me that I know from my own personal business is even in a shifting market, people need to buy or sell. And so the one thing that I would recommend those that are out there watching to do is go find a source of business that you can really double down on. Maybe it's already something that you're working, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's finding a new source of business that you can implement to be able to get in front of more people and have more conversations, because conversations lead to contracts and contracts lead to closings. And so even in a shifting market, when things are tough, we just need to go out and get in front of more people. And so I would say go find a lever or a source of business through prospecting of some way, shape, or form, and really be able to get out there. Or I'll say, and if you don't have a coach, get yourself a coach, because a coach will definitely be able to help you navigate through a shifting market and help you stay focused and on track.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yep.
it. It's definitely a challenge, and it's something that you've become really good at it. So what are you on pace for this year, Justin? You guys
Yeah.
are doing a great job.
Yeah. We are on pace as what we're doing right now, close to 30 million in personal volume.
Right. And which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And again, from last year to this year, uh, isn't that like doubling, tripling the business?
Yeah, I've already done the amount of deals I believe this year in 6 months than I did last year in 12 months.
Right. So you're tracking for how many transactions for you and
Uh,
Joy? Not, I
yeah,
mean, we talked about the
yeah,
team,
just
but
Joy and I. Yep,
yeah.
75 or
Okay,
80,
good.
between 75 and 80.
Right. And I think actually Joy said 85. So that's
Yep.
what her goal is. But anyway, you're you've you're a joy to coach. Um, the thing again is that you're such a hard worker, but you're also very contributory to people that you're want to help.
Yep.
And you know the reason I also love working with you is because you're honest about who you are, where you need help, which also helps, and you love accountability. So
Yep.
if you were to look at the return on your investment from coaching, I kind of I don't mean to throw you off on that, but uh, how would you say it is, you know, to the audience?
I mean, and here's the interesting thing. By being a speaker and a coach here at Glover U, I always tell people like we don't get like a pro bono or a 50% off, or we
Right.
don't get free coaching. I mean, this is something that I invest into my business because I know that I'm a better agent, I'm a better person, I'm a better business person, and I'm more profitable by having a coach. And so to me, it's really non-negotiable. And I know a lot of times agents come from a place of scarcity mindset where they look at the price of coaching versus the return on investment for coaching. And I know that when I look at where my production is this year, where my team is this year, and where we're going, it's not possible without coaching. And so to me, it's a no brainer.
Well, I appreciate that. And as I said, and I said earlier, as the coach, we have the easy part, you have the hard part. So, it's again, like I said, it's awesome coaching you. We are just here in early June, so we've
Yeah.
got, 7 months left of the year. There's
Yep.
no doubt you're going to reach your goal. And congratulations, my friend, for and my awesome client for, going to the next level,
Yep.
working through your mindset challenges. Everyone has them, and then making the decision, figuring it out from a business perspective, but then saying, "Yep, let's go.
Yep.
I'm ready."
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's to be able to have that, and I know every Wednesday when we have our call, I can bring whatever wins or struggles that I'm having during that from between the weeks that from Wednesday to Wednesday, and know that I'm going to be able to walk away from that call with something that is going to help me move forward. Whether it's just encouragement, whether it's direction, whether it's accountability. It's I know every Wednesday after our call, I'm one step closer to where I'm looking to go.
Yeah, well, it's exciting, and I appreciate that. So, I know you thrive on the accountability, but also, like you said, the encouragement. So, uh,
Yeah. 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 I appreciate you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Yep. Bye.